ahead of number 7 that are also close in competitive distance because of how small the bar is there, number 1 and number 6, which means that if number 7 wants to make a move forward, they should target either number 6 or number 1, and that will be their fastest move to improvement. And when you look at some detailed information we'll see in the spreadsheet, it actually tells you what you need to do in comparison to number 1 or comparison to number 6 to make that change. So this is like what I like to call a leapfrog approach to SEO. Instead of just making willy-nilly changes and you don't know exactly what it's going to do, how it's going to move you, you actually target specific challengers. So if I were number 7, I would target number 1. And in a different scenario here, say I'm number 8, I would target number 4. Now you might say, well, I want to be number 1, so why not go after number 1? Well, you could do that if you were number 8, but what this bar graph is telling you is that it's easy for you to go after number 4. That's going to be your quickest way to make a move. And so that's what you need to use this information for. So with that, we'll actually jump to a spreadsheet where you can see the detailed information. So this is the second file that you get as an output, this spreadsheet. The first thing you have here is all the raw data that's collected. So all the SEO factors and all the competitors are put in this data grid, so you can always go back to that to see, first of all, who's who in those numbers and what the actual values are that were collected. Now this is real time, so as competitors are changing their pages or getting new links, you run this 2, 3, 4 weeks later, you'll have a very different information. Similarly, if you go and you change the number of competitors or the number of links per competitor, then this data grid is going to look very different. So that's one piece of information that you get. And almost everything in a Word document comes in some way, shape, or form from some part of the spreadsheet. So we looked at those bar graphs in the spreadsheet, which were the threat matrix for each competitor. That actually comes from this data here. Same information. So here's a threat matrix for number 5, and you can see in order of closeness all the different competitors listed. And here are bar graphs that show how far apart they are. And here they are in a numeric fashion. So you can see, for example, if I were number 5, the competitor that is above me that's closest is number 3. And this just shows you a numeric distance compared to the others. So if I were number 5, I would target number 3. And the way you figure out how to target a particular competitor is you actually go to this raw data information here. And let's say we were, before we were thinking we were looking at number 7, and number 1 was someone that you could target. So what you do is you grab the information from number 1, or if you're going to target number 3 from the other one, you just copy it from here to another table here, where it displays all the information that that we grabbed. Now, in this particular one, we were looking at a URL that was number 28, and I had already identified from a threat matrix that number 2 and number 3 were really good competitors to go after and target. So I put their information here. I just copied it from that raw data table, and what you can do is you can see the numbers side by side. So here, I kind of displayed that same information vertically, and you can see side by side. So you know where you're red and where you're green, and where these other competitors are that are opportunities for you are either doing well or doing poorly. So the idea is this. So let's take this one here. This is number 2. So that's all the data there, number 2. And if we go back here to this competitive ranges information, I just added another column there, and I paste it here. So here's how I would use this information. I've got the competitive range information right there, and I've got my values where I'm green and red, and I've got this contender here that's an opportunity for me to overtake. So where I'm red, I know I need to be inside the range, but I may not know exactly where. One of these contenders that's an opportunity is going to be my guide as to where I want to be inside that range. So for example, here with text proximity, which is pretty important, I'm way outside the range. I've got a value of 4, and I need to be between 32 and 127. Now the higher it is, the better, but I know at least I want to have a value of 60 because I know that this is one of my opportunities to overtake, and this is where I'm hurting. So if I can get at least as high as a 60, that puts me in a spot to overtake this challenger here. So similarly with the title tag, my title tag count, the number of words, is weak. I'm in the red. I'm right on the border there of the minimum range. So if I look at this competitor, they're 13. So between 10 and 28, I know around 13 is what I should target for my first change. And so you go through this in that fashion. For looking for where you want to be inside the range, let the opportunities, the folks that are ranking above you but are close in competitive distance, let their values be a guide for you and where you want to be inside the range when you have a red value. So that's how you kind of combine the spreadsheet and the Word document. Now, the spreadsheet also has a list of all the link partners that have been analyzed for this particular key phrase. And you can scroll across and you can see the different values like title keyword density, text count, text keyword density, text proximity, reputation, and so on. So if you are looking for potential link partners, you can go through this list and you can sort it by wherever you're weak. So if you know you need to work on text proximity for your inbound links, and you're wondering if some of these link partners of your challengers are good prospects for you, but you can sort this table by text proximity. The ones with the highest score will rise to the top, and you can start going after them in that order instead of just kind of a blind, just send emails out to anybody you can think of and hope that some of them respond and hope that some of those actually help you for that key phrase. So this will help you be more targeted in going after links. If you want to do link building through content syndication, then you do what I described before, where you pay attention to these values. And so when you write your copy, you're paying attention to the title tag and the text proximity and things like that, and the anchor text keyword density. Write your copy with these guidelines in mind, and then when you syndicate your content, you'll have pages linking to you that have all the factors that you need. Now, often what happens is people wonder, I may know where I'm weak, so I'm weak with title tags on my pages. The only way I'm really going to fix that for link building is if I do content syndication, because you'll be hard-pressed to get a link prospect to change their title tag for you. But if you can get content hosted on their site or on their blog, then you can control that. And often people will wonder, I know what it needs to look like, but how many of these links do I need to really make a dent and competing against those particular targets I'm going after in my link building efforts? So what you can do here is you can put in what your values are. So let's say here we were looking at 28, 2, and 3. So 28 is my URL. 2 and 3 are competitors that I identified as good opportunities. So here in this IBO planning section, you put 28, that would be me, and then you've got 2 and 3 are here, already here, and I put 1 in there also. So you enter it here in this first table, and it automatically populates these tables below. So then what you do is you look at, let's say, text keyword density, for example, if that was important. This looks at your keyword density, and then it weights it compared to the opportunities that you've listed here, and then gives you a count. And this gives you an idea of how much you have as far as a gap between you and a particular competitor. So if I'm number 28, it tells me that out of all the links that were analyzed, I really only have 2 that have a good text keyword density for the key phrase. So this is really targeted link building. We're looking for links that are going to help you rank for a specific key phrase. And then looking at 3, 1, and 2, if I'm going after 2 or 1, those competitors, then there's a gap here where the competitors ranked number 2 has 8 links that are good in text keyword density. Number 1 has 24. So if that's where I'm weak, text keyword density in my incoming links, then if I'm going after number 2, that means I'm going to have at least 6 more links that have a good text keyword density for that particular key phrase. And if I'm targeting number 1, I'm going to have to have at least 24 links that have good text keyword density for that particular key phrase linking to me. And you do that with each of these factors. You figure out which factor it is you need to work on, who your contender or challenger is, and you see what the gap is between you and them. Now obviously, the more inbound links you analyze per competitor, the more accurate this information is going to be. So if you're going to use this tool, the IBL planning table, I would recommend analyzing at least 100 competitors, at least 100 inbound links per competitor to really make good use out of this particular table. So that's going to help you, whether you're using the link prospect table to find potential link partners, or whether you're doing article syndication and you're actually crafting the pages. You know how many of these you need to get out there linking to you. A lot of people will ask, so if I make these changes, how long is it going to take before I see any movement? And as with all situations like this, it really depends on how quickly the search engine picks up the new content. So if it's content on your site, on-page factors, it's just a matter of how quickly the crawlers come out and get that new content. If it's